annual River City Jazz and Music Festival, Sunday, September 4th at the Cannon Center. And to win, you must register on my VIP list, www.tinatilton.com. You should know what that is, to win tickets for you and a guest. Now, the Jazz and Music Festival is hosted by yours truly, as well as Mark Baker, and it features Peebo Bryson, Jonathan Butler, Pieces of a Dream, along with my very special guest today, Grammy Award-winning saxophonist, you guys. Here he is, Najee. Welcome to the Blend. Hey, I'm good. Look at us. We are,
I know, right?
We have on almost the same colors.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Well, welcome. Thank you so much again for being a part of today's broadcast. Now, can I tell the viewers your real name?
That is my real name. Najee is my middle name. That's my.
It is a middle name. Yeah. Well, I should have said your first name then. I was like,
no, because then you kill the mystery. You know.
Okay, kill it.
The information is very accessible if they really want to know.
If they really wanted to know.
Yeah,
So I'm glad I asked first then. So Tina, keep it like it is. This is Najee. Well, I did read from your bio. I read that your father passed at a young age.
Yes.
So you grew up without a father. Did any of that have any influence on what you decided to become?
I think so, but I grew up in a good family, good, strong community of people. My mother did remarry, so I had father figures. And, growing up in the community I grew up in New York City, I mean, people were very helpful to my development, from school teachers to community leaders to, so I don't feel like I missed out or was deprived of fatherly images, if you will,
Sure.
Because during that time, there were people that would take that mentoring role, I mean, I was a member of the Police Athletic League in New York City. I was a Boy Scout. I mean, I did all that,
Really?
Yeah.
Now that I didn't catch in the bio, a Boy Scout.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are so few and far between now. I really wish that they kind of bring that back. It just seems like it should be something that every boy should experience. And girls, for that matter, for the Girl Scouts, because I never was one, but I wanted to be one. So I'm almost jealous of you. I'm almost.
No, don't be jealous, please.
Okay, don't be jealous.
As a kid, my mother made sure we were, we had a life that was fulfilled with activities, So she wouldn't let dull moments go by. She understood. Idle mind is the devil workshop. So as she used to say.
Gotcha. That's what she used to say. Before you perfected the saxophone, you had your eyes on another instrument, a first instrument. Mm-hmm. What was that first instrument?
I've never perfected the saxophone. I don't think there's really such a thing, because it's constant work. We're always working to evolve, no matter how good you get. And you reach the top of one level, but you're at the bottom of another, So for me, it's a never-ending process. But yes, I started on clarinet, actually, wanting to play saxophone. But at the time when in middle school, when I joined the school band, there were no saxophone chairs left. So I ended up in the clarinet section. But my teacher, who was very wise, he said, just really study the clarinet, study any woodwind. You'll be able to transform into any instrument that you desire in the woodwind family. So that's what I did,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you had a lot of musical training. Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, it wasn't starting out that way. I say the biggest musical training I got was on the bandstand, playing in local bands in New York City. At the age of 11, we moved to Jamaica, Queens, New York, which I don't know if you know the history of Jamaica, Queens, but a lot of great artists come out of there. A lot of great artists lived there when I was there. Count Basie, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, James Brown had a home there. And as a result of that, there were a lot of people who lived in the area. Jimmy Heath, who I got to study with at Jazzmobile. So I was a part of a community of musicians that just grew up during that time. Even rappers, LL Cool J, Nas, Run DMC, Russell Simmons, he and I were high school classmates. So, there were many, many people that came from that community, and I say that's the training. Now, I did, my first world tour was when I was 18. I toured for the military, for the USO. I wasn't in the military, but the band I was in, we toured backing up Miss Black America, and we toured all over the world, going to military.
For what, a couple of years, maybe 2 years or so? I read that.
About a year. And then I realized, as nice as it was seeing the world the way I did, I was never going to make any money doing it that way. So I decided to follow my mother's advice and go to school and came back off the tour and went to Bronx Community College, the music department, studied there. And then I also studied at New England Conservatory of Music in Boston. I auditioned and got in, and my brother and I both ended up going there for 3.5 years before we couldn't afford to go anymore. And then, but most of my experience has been on the bandstand.
Yeah, check that out. Now, if you are watching and if you have any questions for Najee, please hit us up in the comment section, and
Sure.
we'd be more than happy to see any comments and questions that you may have for him. But in 1983, I saw that you performed with Shaka Khan,
Yeah.
and then in '98 you performed at Nelson Mandela's birthday party.
Yeah.
Then you also performed at the White House with Bill Clinton, and I know that he plays the sax, right? Isn't that the saxophone that he plays?
He does, yeah. But it was more for marketing than anything, you know.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask you. I was
like,
I'm like, were you able to show him a few things, or did he, or was he showing you a few things?
well, you know, he did do it. He made the nicest comment one time. I was performing at something in Atlanta for Andrew Young. And he came on stage and he said, you know, if I could play saxophone like Najee, I would have had a different career choice, you know. I always thought that was an honorable, you know, I always felt honored that he said that to the audience. But
You're right.
Yeah, he was a great leader.
Many, many accolades under your belt. Which award or achievement, should I say, are you most proud of?
That's a hard one, you know, because to me, they all are
You
just
got a
something
lot.
of a different time, you know, of a different time. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, my very, very first album, which you probably see all the records behind me, but
I do.
the one on the top was the first. The other 4 underneath came after that, and they were just as successful as the first. But I had that one in a big frame because that was where it all became real for me, if you will. You know, I didn't realize that when you got a gold record, you actually were on your way to having a real career, you know. So I always say that was it. And then, you know, your exes start stepping up wanting money. So you know how that goes. So I realized, okay, maybe
I'll reel you back in.
Get to something, you know. That's a joke, by the way. But,
I got you. Oh, wow. So like you just said, there's really not one specific achievement or accomplishment that you can say, yeah, I'm most proud of this one.
No, I'm just grateful more than anything because, you know, I was a kid in New York City. I didn't really have the financial support like some people have, you know, growing up. But I don't feel sorry for that because, you know, I've been blessed. I mean, every stage of my life, I've been blessed. You know, when my time comes, I mean, I have no complaints. It's like, just thank you for the opportunity of being here, God. You know, that's it. So,
that's amazing. Don't you make me praise now. It's praise break. That's a praise break right there. I got my Jesus too now.
There you go.
Let me ask you this. Now, why jazz? Could have been, I mean, you could have played sax for any other genre of music, but why jazz?
Well, the world called me that. I mean, my experience is far beyond jazz. I mean, I grew up in New York City. We played in R&B bands, you know. But I studied jazz seriously. I was a member of the Jazz Band program in New York City as a teenager, and then I got to study classical flute with the legendary Harold Jones at Manhattan School of Music as a teenager. So for me, it was really just learning the craft, and because the time I came in, you were encouraged to learn anything, play anything, you know, study very hard. But at the time, R&B was the music that we played. I mean, I grew up during the time of Kool and the Gang and Earth, Wind and Fire, and, you know, when the bands, you know, were, and so we played in bands. And, you know, when I came out, because I had experience in jazz and because it's the saxophone, that's a whole marketing thing that, you know, categorized me in that area. But, you know, as you probably know from my bio, I played with rock artists. I played with, you know, I played with Prince. I mean, George Wayne for 3 years. You know, I've sat in with Sting. I've done, you know, whoever calls, you know. The key was for me to be able to go in any situation and not be uncomfortable. So.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to you. I mean, you may or may not feel that way, but I totally do, and I see you that way. Yeah. You have 6 children. I did see that. 2 for me. You got 6. How many of each, though? Because I wasn't clear on how many boys, how many girls of the 6.
Yeah, well, 1 girl and 5 boys. So.
Wow. Was it challenging for you being on the road, trying to
It was,
train
but you know what?
train
You
the
figure it
men,
out.
train boys, and grow the boys up to
Yeah,
men?
yeah, but they all grew up to be productive citizens. They graduated from college. They're businessmen. One of my sons is an investor for Merrill Lynch. Another one, my oldest son, he's one of the cameramen on NCIS with LL Cool J, NCIS LA. But he also has had a featured film in New York City. Just this past week, one of his film that he created, invested in, and paid for, was featured at the Hip Hop Film Festival this past week. My daughter's a married woman with 4 kids. She married a college sweetheart. They met at Tuskegee, and they've been going strong. He used to live in Memphis, as a matter of fact. And
He's
then,
from Memphis? He's from Memphis?
My daughter and her husband lived in Memphis for a while.
Oh, lived in
Yeah,
okay.
they just recently left Memphis to come back to Atlanta to raise their children there.
Mhm.
And then, and my other son is in law school. My other son graduated with his BA in business administration. So everybody's productive,
They really are. Way to go. Okay,
Yeah.
now I might need you to lay hands on me for my kids.
I don't claim any of that. But, I just say God is
Credit.
working in spite of myself, So,
Sure, because mine are 6 and 7.
yeah, there you go. Well, you got a way to go.
Yeah, I do. I have a long ways to go.
Well, it goes
Well,
quick, though. Trust me, it will.
Yeah. Well, this part of the show, I typically call the uncommon question, and it has nothing to do with your bio or anything. It's not even, a crazy question. It's just uncommon. So my uncommon question for you, I see that your birthday is actually on my anniversary, November 4th.
Oh, okay.
Right? That's
Okay.
your birthday, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But I just celebrated my 50th birthday, and
Oh.
everybody wanted to do, like August 12th was my 50th
No way. I
birthday.
thought you were in your 30s, late 30s.
No.
Good
And
for you.
everybody wanted to do
Congratulations.
everything, thank you, with me and for me. So my uncommon question for you is, what did you do on your 50th birthday?
I don't remember. To be honest.
Oh gosh.
I probably.
Everyone tells me that should be that's a big accomplishment, and that's a staple in your life. You should know what you did. And
I
that's
have no
how
idea. More than likely, I was in some country somewhere doing something, performing, and it just went by as another day. So
Okay.
I know where I'll be
Another
this year. I'll be in Michigan this year on the stage with Michael Franks tonight. So I know that. This year.
Yeah. And how old will you be turning this year, November 4th?
I'm not telling you. That's easy.
You're not telling me that either.
No.
Oh gosh. I can't pull the secrets out of this man.
Find that out. That's very easy.
They say a woman never tells her age, and
Right,
he
right.
just.
All I can say is I don't complain about it. I'm just very grateful I'm here. I'm healthy. I've never had any major health issues at all. I mean, I'm great.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Well, you got something new then. Your newest project. Come on now.
Yeah.
Let us have it. Give us the name of it and what we can expect from it.
Well, it's called Savoir Faire. It's been out a few months now, but it's doing very well so far. We have Allison Williams on there. I don't know if you remember her, but she's doing a remake of the classic song Valentine Love. Also have Frank McComb on there. And, the 2 of the songs were done in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, with some Brazilian musicians. We redid the classic song, A Felicidade, which is a classic from the movie Black Orpheus, written by Antonio Carlos Jobim. So it's been doing very well. Some of it is produced by the legendary Barry Eastman. The producers produced Anita Baker, Al Jarreau, Freddie Jackson, Yorma Lady, Kenny Lattimore, and the list goes on and on and on. So we, doing pretty well so far.
Good for you. Good
Unfortunately,
for you.
people ask me, well, how's your record doing? I tell them, listen, I really don't sit there and look at the charts. I just don't. I just don't sit there. I mean, you put it out and it's going to do whatever it's going to do. I've stopped worried about, being
How many
anxious
units
about it.
and
Do
things
this and
of
that.
that nature. Yeah.
Those things are gone.
So you're more of a creator. Like, let me just create
Right.
the project, right?
And hopefully
just
the people respond.
and hopefully they respond. Right. All right. Well, Memphis, we are ready for you. Are you ready for Memphis?
I am. We haven't been there. It's got to be well over, I want to say, somebody told me like 15 years since I've been to there. It's been a long time. We used to come all the time. And then, so I'm very excited about coming back this time.
Yes, we are excited to have you. Wow. Again, you guys, Najee, make plans, you guys, to attend the 4th annual River City Jazz and Music Festival, Sunday, September 4th at the Cannon Center. And again, you can register to win 2 VIP tickets at, or should I say on my website, www.TinaTilton.com, to win tickets for you and a guest. Again, Peebo Bryson, Jonathan Butler, Pieces of a Dream, and right here, Najee.
Yeah.
Tickets are only $55 just in case you don't win those tickets on my website. They are only $55, and you can purchase those at the Cannon Center or the or Ticketmaster. All right. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Najee, for being a guest on today's show. Tina Tilton's The Blend, and we look so forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Same here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.